Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man, one flesh." And God wanted to reward him and not wait for eternity. And so he came and met with the man and said, "I want to do one thing to you. I know your greater rewards in eternity, but you've been so faithful. Just an example. I will do it for you." And the man said, "All right, God, help me to understand." You know, people have been trying for years. Just can't seem to get it right. God, there's one other thing. I live in San Diego and I love Hawaii, but, you know, I can't afford to fly there all the time and boats cost too much. I'd like a highway from San Diego to Hawaii that I can drive to Hawaii whenever I want. And God said, "Well, now that's a tough one too, because it's going to change my creation, my environment. The support's going to go deep in the ocean. This is just not going to be good. How are you going to get ships to go under? You're going to have to make crazy things and protect it from hurricanes and storms. That's harder." And he said, "Well, what else do you want?" He said, "That's it. So if you can't do that one, then let me understand women." And God looked at him and said, "Did you say you wanted a 2-lane or a 4-lane? Yep, that's how it goes. That's how the story goes for guys a long time. Who can understand a woman? That's what men say. Women say, who can understand a man? Well, last week we figured out the men. This week we get a chance to at least try from one man's perspective how to understand a woman. That's, shall we say, putting this into proper perspective, one man's understanding of how to understand women. But guys, do you want to understand a woman? Do you want to understand how she thinks? Do you really? That's a tough question. We go, yes, then we're in trouble because now we got to do it. But if you do, maybe you would want some pointers on how to reach her, to speak to her heart. Well, today we're going to look at some of the ways a woman thinks and how to communicate with her. If you do not have one of these, you're going to need one of these to fill out, because this is, if you don't fill them in, you'll not remember what I said, because the enemy doesn't want you to have it. Other men and women are going to take them from you guys. It's treasured information this morning. I've got to start in Genesis. And the question I asked the Lord and was seeking the answer to this week is, why did God? He knew that she needed someone who wouldn't connect her unless she actually was connected and was a part of who he was, where her heart is, that he would connect side to side with her. And she likes being protected. If you've ever been to a wedding, you'll know that when the father of the bride walks the bride down, that she's on his right side, right here, and walks down the aisle for a specific reason that she's on the right side. It's because on that side is her left side where her heart is, so he's standing between her heart and the world, saying, "I'm protecting and supporting." That's symbolic. When he gives it over to the church, as a pastor, I've done this many times, I receive her and I take her to my right side, representing the church now has her heart until the moment she's given to her husband. But while they're giving the vows and facing this way, she's still on my right side and on her future husband's left side, meaning he doesn't have her heart yet. God says, not until this union is made will he have her heart. And when the service is over, they turn this way, and he's on her left side, which is her heart side, and they walk down, and now the heart side is given to the husband. Did you know that? When I'm doing weddings, I'll sometimes explain that. And during one wedding, a dad said, "I don't like walking on that side. I'm going to walk on the other side because that's where I feel best." And I said, if you want the world to know you love her, you'll walk on the other side of her. But it's your choice. Either you want the world to know and her to know you love her and you protect her heart, or you don't. When the wedding came, he walked on the proper side because he loved his daughter more than he liked his preferences. So I thought that was pretty neat. You see, a man won't protect what isn't a part of himself or something he feels like isn't connected to him. And what he would do if it wasn't a part of himself is what he did with the cattle, the birds, the garden. he takes dominion and tries to control it. Guys are going, yep, that's what we do. But it's a problem when it's a woman, because she doesn't want to be controlled and taken dominion over. She's not an animal or a garden to be tended and kept. She's a woman who needs love and preference, similar but not the same as kept and tended. You see, when God told Adam to tend and keep the garden, back up in verse 15, the intent was to care for and respect that garden as a garden for what it is. So there were some ground frameworks that he would understand how to work things and care for things. On the other side of that, there's another meaning to tend and cultivate or keep, and that's the word husband. To love on it, to make it better by being a part with it and working with it. So God tells Adam, I'm putting inside you the ability to work the land, but I'm also giving you the ability to care for it like you love it. The problem was he gave all the cattle, the birds in the air, and the stuff around that was made out of clay to him to name, and then he controlled those and took dominion. And God said none of those worked for him. So he took a part of him. And he chose to make someone who was willing to help him learn and grow in areas he was not designed to function very well. Now, the word is willing. Didn't mean she would. It meant she could if she was willing. Not everybody's willing to help. But somebody similar in nature to him, but with relational qualities to complement him. A part of which he doesn't intrinsically know how to relate. And he can't control it, but it adds to him if he learns to relate the right way in that relationship. He knows she belongs in his world, but he doesn't know how to give her preference because it's just another thing he's got to take care of in his mind. Yet she has beauty, patience, tenderness, compassion, heart, and awareness of how all these things connect in his life and fit together. She will bring what he doesn't have to complement. That's what women do, guys. She compliments you. She's not trying to compete with you. She's not trying to be better than you. She's trying to make you better by being one with you. She sees a team when you're authentic with her. Not somebody she's trying to best or fix. And so if you want to know what that looks like, let's take a deeper dive this morning into that. There are pressures on women us guys don't understand or know about. And we don't have them. And we don't really consider them because they're not a part of our frame of reference. But all her life she's been told she's a princess and a queen and should be beautiful and is beautiful. This is the first thing she's judged for in her mind. And she's not far off. Most people look at a woman's appearance before they look at anything else to judge their value. Then there's the expectations of housework, running the home, caring for the kids, working for less pay than a man gets, and doing so at the expense of her own peace of mind and rest. She has to constantly show up for life as better, prettier, smarter, and wiser than others, just to fit in, just to be a part. Yet that same society which put those expectations on her also makes her feel unsafe. She has to be attractive, but then she's vulnerable. Her eyes are always scanning the environment for hazards from people and from unexpected occurrences. She rarely has a moment when she can just be. Just breathe a little. She doesn't often get to be herself and loses herself trying to be something she's not to fit in, to belong, or to be accepted. Most people won't look past her surface. to what's hidden underneath, the real treasure. She feels unseen and wanted only for what she can do or how she can make somebody feel. Yet lurking beneath all in connection. She sees her as an equal in unity, in unification, that they belong together, equal that way. She wants to know someone looks beyond the day-to-day to love what's beneath. She wants someone to see her and to see her heart. She'll give all she is for the one who does that. She will ally with him. She will help him achieve his goals and dreams and believe along with him that they're attainable and worthwhile. Even if she doesn't necessarily agree with him, she'll still believe with him. She comes alongside of him as a helper, as a friend, as a lover, and a companion in life. With this kind of man, she feels protected, safe, honored, cherished, loved, and wanted. She knows she can be weak and vulnerable. Maybe nowhere else in this world. She smiles easily because she doesn't have to force herself to be happy or force a smile. She's happy and seen when she's loved and known all aspects of who she is. She fears this may be all taken away from her if she doesn't remain beautiful and adorable. Smile and tell her friends how blessed she is. She feels connected to him. She senses his love. She feels it. The truth is, women know when they are loved, when they're loved well. They also know when they're not loved and feel good enough for better. But they would rather not settle on someone or a life that doesn't build her up inside. She hears stories of Prince Charming growing up. The guy she would rather have an unattractive yet kind and loving man who cherishes her without being afraid of who she is. And Meghan more so. Once again, she knows when she's loved, she is. The competition is fierce inside of her, battling this stuff inside of herself. She wants to feel beautiful because that matters to her. Christine, for Katya's birthday yesterday, took her to the nail salon. It's been a long time since Katya was pampered a little bit. Christine knew that. Got the mani-pedi. What she told Christine afterward was, I feel beautiful again. I feel beautiful again. It's been a while since I felt beautiful. And sometimes that's tough, but that matters to women in more ways than we could ever fathom, guys. Because a woman thinks differently than a man. She's wired differently. Did you know that? No news flash there, right? A man thinks linear, from one thing to the next, in one step, one thing to the next thing, in a straight line. We're not good at anything else real well. But a woman thinks laterally. What I mean by that is she likes the side journeys which color the picture. A man likes single focus and order. Let's say, for example, you decide to put a new family room or addition onto the house, right? She has this idea, once they start talking about it, who's going to be in that room, how she's going to entertain those folks in that room, how she's going to live in that space, and how she'll decorate it and fill it with stuff. Final design is approved at the contractor. Dreaming a little. She talks about all these things, her husband and her friends, and look what we're doing, and all these things, and she dreams a little. Hold in mind, there are 5 things I got for you on the handout that we're going to go through. Characteristics of women and how to understand them. Word reliability goes there. A woman definitely needs reliability. Nothing to raise the family or care for herself. She needs him to be consistent with how he handles things. If she begins to question his reliability, she will consider how to do things for herself. Eventually, taken far enough, she may even consider what life looks like without him in it. She would consider this because he's left her. The woman has said, I've been doing this on my own already. Why do I want or need him around when he just complicates things and makes it impossible to care for my family? I've heard that a lot. Not toward me, but I've heard it a lot from people. Clarify that. She has trouble functioning in situations when a promise is made and no follow-through happens. She needs to know you're going to be there, guys, when you say you will and do what you said you would do in a manner that's timely to her point of reference, not yours. For example, there's a mug. I almost bought it, but it was too telling. It said, honey, I'll get it done. It's for a guy. Honey, I will do it. You don't have to remind me every 6 months. So what can you do to communicate this reliability? When she needs something, here's what it says in the handout, and it's true. Tell her a date and time you will complete something and agree on that date and time together. And then meet it. Maybe even beat or exceed it. But by all means, agree on a time that fits her time frame. That speaks volumes. Number 2, a woman needs safety and stability. She needs safety and stability. It matters to her when she feels connected and safe with someone who's going to be there in consistent ways. She no longer feels safe or stable, then she will find a different way to get back to that. Because she's going to find a way to feel safe in her life. She needs to know that he protects her heart, that she's safe with him. That's important for her, to know she's safe with him, that her heart's safe. The demands on her are numerous, as I said at the beginning. And compared to others, by her appearance, which she's got to keep up, is one of them. And now she's got to show up professionally for work if she works, no matter how she feels inside. And it can be a train wreck in there, but she's got to be professional. And she's got to hide these fears of rejection and judgment, all these voices in her head that she's not good enough, she's not pretty, she's not smart enough, not good enough as a man. But if she has safety and stability, she connects in that relationship. I was driving the bus one day this week, and there's this woman, not one of the people on my bus, who got a young boy, and she's putting him in his, booster seat on the back right side of the vehicle, which is parked along the sidewalk. She's in there, and she's talking to him. And they're having this conversation, and they're talking. She walks around the car, opens her door, and gets in. Still talking to him. And what she's oblivious to is 4 cars almost hit her when she walks around, opens the door, and gets in. She doesn't even look. And now, what's going on here? You know, I thought women are aware of the environment, and it hit me. She's in this relationship where she feels safe and stable, so she expects others to watch out for that for her. So she can connect with that moment and not have to worry about what's coming at her. And that relationship lets her do that without having to process everything all the time. So she wants that safety and stability. And guys, what's really important is you keep her informed about and involved in your decisions. She needs that. That helps her feel like she's connected to you and safe. And I don't mean like what kind of clothes to put on. I mean decisions about your family, about your life and your work and things like that. Let me tell you something. My wife was a good example of how I wasn't doing this. I would do stuff and make some decisions and go ahead with them. And she said, why didn't you consult me? And I said, well, I figured you'd agree. She said, I would, but I like to be a part of the process and part of what's going on in our family. I like to know. Of course, I was going to agree with what you said, but you didn't give me the chance to. So, involve her and keep her informed in your decisions. That will speak volumes. Third thing, a woman talks. Now, that's not the end of it, guys. We know that one. A woman talks to know who she is. This is a foreign concept to us guys, so I'm going to share a little bit about what that means. She talks about how she feels to process her emotions. Those three blanks are about how she feels. She talks about how she feels to process her emotions. We do that a little bit, guys, but not like this. This is standard operating procedure for ladies. She'll talk about friends and the things going on to process them. We're going to hear it like condemnation or praise for that friend. My wife and I, she had a conversation about a coworker one time. Things weren't good, and she said, "Oh, I'm just going to avoid her, you know." And so I'm going, "Well, you should, you know, and that's a good idea." And I'm just supporting her like that, right? And a couple years later, she's talking about this person, how they're doing stuff together. I said, "I thought we hated her. I thought we were avoiding her." She goes, "That was just that day." And I said, "What?" She said, "It was just that day. It wasn't the next day. It was just that day I was avoiding her, not the rest of her life. I got to work with her, for goodness sake." And I said, "But you didn't tell me." She said, "I didn't make plans. Just had a moment." She's just thinking, you know what I mean? Thinking out loud, processing those emotions as she does so. And the thing about that is, I get to the right page, she's processing through the interactions while he's trying to figure out what the point is that she's trying to make. This is where we get messed up, guys. This is so funny. Emotions don't have points. I feel sad. What us guys say is, what's the point of that? Emotions don't have points. They just exist. You just feel them. What's the point of that? Why you want to feel that way? We're trying to figure out how to stop her from doing it so we can go on back what we want to do. But emotions don't have a purpose other than to emote. And we're trying to fix what's natural. Guys can't figure this one out because there isn't anything to figure or solve. You don't have to solve anything there. The emotions are going to change. We don't have to make them do that. And if we try to, they're going to come toward us with them. All we need to be is a sounding board and a loving ear to offer her feedback. So, guys, this is important. Allow her time to talk it through without judging or fixing. You don't got to do anything wise or intelligent here, guys, other than to say, that must be tough. You know, what are you going to do about that? How can I support you? That's all she needs. She doesn't need you to tell her her emotions are wrong, that she's doing the wrong emotion. She needs you to feel happy because she's with you. None of that stuff. Just, I'm here for you. What can I do to help? That's usually all she needs, because what you're doing is you're speaking to her emotional state, and now she feels supported, and those emotions can subside, and she'll say, "Thank you." That's what she'll say, and we'll go, "For what?" But it's true. Fourth one, a woman relates to know who she is. Us guys do this a little bit, but not like this. You see, she sees herself in the context of other women and men in her life. Social feedback helps her place her emotional state in the world. She may overreact or read too much into what happens, but those come from her filters that she's had of what the world has taught her about who she is or what it's about. Because she's still trying to be safe, secure. She's constantly looking for confirmation for what she believes about herself, good or bad. She thinks she's beautiful, she's looking for confirmation. She thinks she's not, she's looking for confirmation of that. She thinks she's smart, she's looking for confirmation of that. And she's looking throughout the environment to show her that she's right about who she thinks she is. A woman also relates to feel connected in an ever-increasingly threatening environment. This is why she needs an authentic man to connect with. He's the man who fulfills the role of what an authentic man should be doing. Not some macho stuff, guys. You don't need that. But someone who leads, supports, defends, protects, provides, and cherishes her. His actions should say he would choose her all over again. This is authentic and speaks volumes to a woman. She needs to know that you're there. And so what we can do, guys, is set uninterrupted time aside for her each week. What I mean by that is y'all talk about a time where there's no electronics, all that's shut down, no kids around, it's just you two. Unfiltered, unbreakable time where y'all can just be together and reconnect and remember why you're together and love and support each other in those times. To set time each week to do that. It's important. Because otherwise she's going to feel distant from you and think that you don't care. Uninterrupted time. I'm reserving this block of time, however much time we decide on, for you. She likes that, guys. That really feeds her heart. And you decide on that together. You don't tell her, oh, I can meet with you this day at this time, honey, and you're on my schedule. It's not about that. It's you agree together because you're in unity. Fifth one. When a woman is, and you can choose of these two words and put both, when a woman is chosen or preferred. When a woman is chosen, preferred, she feels connected. Proverbs 31 talks about the virtues of a good woman. And in this litany of stuff, there's a verse that's in there. And when you read it, you think, well, it's just describing these qualities about her. But it's not. It's something, when you hear this verse, you're going to go, wow, I didn't read it like that. But in this context, listen to Proverbs 31:20. It says, she extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. So it sounds like she's just being benevolent, right? With the list of stuff. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about when she is chosen and preferred, she knows what it's like to be a part of a life that matters. And when she sees someone else who's needy or broken, she knows how to feel disconnected from the world and wants to help because she knows what it's like to be connected. She's kind to all because she connects to the broken and less fortunate because she's found her connection and fortune. She's valuable to someone, so she can value one who doesn't feel valuable with the same confidence that she has by being valued. She likes to be chosen. I bought a t-shirt at a conference we go to every couple of years, and on the t-shirt it says, I love my wife. I wear that shirt a lot. She doesn't pick my clothes out either. I wear that shirt a lot. Do you know what people say when they see me wearing that shirt? And it's invariably even when she's with me or when she's not. But generally when she is, here's what people say, both men and women. Did your wife buy that for you? Did she make you wear that? I said, no. And I bought her one that says, I love my husband. Because we're connected. But why are you wearing the shirt? I said, because some days my wife needs to know, if not every day, that she matters to me. That I feel like she needs to know that I would choose her again. No matter all the women in the world that I've come across since her and before her, I still choose her. I prefer her. And that makes her feel connected to me. I don't know why that works. It just does. It's women's stuff, guys. And that stuff speaks to their heart. Because you're saying, I choose you over and over and over. When a woman reaches out to the poor and the needy, she's saying, I choose to see you as you are and not make you feel that way, but to love you in a way that makes you feel valuable. That's what that Proverbs verse says. I'm making you feel honored. I'm not having pity on you. I'm treasuring you and connecting. It comes from a different place than just, oh, here's someone I can throw some money at. She's compassionate because she feels their situation. Chosen. Katya's wedding. Many of you don't know this, but I adopted her. And what she told me was, my mom, my biological father, I was born to them. You're the first person that chose me. She loves that. So at the wedding, I'm walking her down the aisle on the correct side. And before I say anything else, I say a few words. And the first word that I say is, I choose you. Pastor started crying. Just 3 words. I choose you. Women in the audience are going, oh. I'm going, it's true. I choose you. That connection matters. So guys, what do? You need to remind her frequently that you would choose her again. That no matter how she feels, that you might be working and there's somebody there whom she feels threatened by, even if there isn't anybody, and you remind her, I would choose you over anybody else in this world yet again. And I would marry you all over again. And if I had to do it today, I would do it again today. Guys, that's important. It really is. So now we get to the questions you had to answer. I don't know if you got the right answers, but the questions I'll remind you is, why do men not go to the bathroom together in public? And why do women go together to the bathroom in public? Well, I'll tell you, there's a clue in the notes. I didn't give you the whole thing, but it's about the trip, the journey to the bathroom mostly. Not all, but mostly. And women don't always understand this. I asked a lot of folks to answer the question yesterday at Family Kitchen. I asked Makisha, and she said, well, I was at a function yesterday, and I had to go to the bathroom. I asked the woman next to me to go to the bathroom with me. And I said, why'd you do that? She says, I don't know. I just do it. It's ingrained. It's wired in there, right? Guys don't go to the bathroom together because of what they think other people will think of a man walking with a man. Oh, they must be together. Oh, he's not man enough to go by himself. He's not strong enough, so he's got to have daddy carrying him to the bathroom. See, men are taught to be independent, self-reliant. And if they got someone helping them, the guy's looking at the environment to see who's watching him with this other guy and wondering what they think about him. Are they thinking that I'm with him? So we won't even put ourselves in that position. That is just a taboo thing. But it gets worse. We don't talk to each other in the bathroom either. We don't. As a matter of fact, on the way to the bathroom, we don't talk to people at all. We got a job to do. We're going to do it. The job is to get to the bathroom, do our business, and get back to where we were. In fact, you see a guy in public trying to get to the bathroom and it's urgent, you'll see that he's focused on getting to that bathroom. Get out of my way! Clear the aisle! Someone's in the bathroom. Get out of there! I gotta go now! That's how we guys are, you know. We're focused on what we gotta do, and if something's in the way, it's gotta get out of the way. And the more urgent it is, the more demanding we are. The bathroom's a good sign. But in the bathroom now, 2 guys standing there. And the other guys go, how's it going? You know what us guys think? He's hitting on me. He's interested in me. Why is he talking to me in here when we're doing a job unless he wants a relationship? And if he wants a relationship, I ain't saying nothing to him. Because this ain't about that. He just broke the code. And that's how that works. So we go in there, we do our job, we laser focus, finish, turn around, come back. And we don't, when we're by ourselves, we don't focus on what's around us. We focus on the job. Now, women, guys, here you go. They go because if they go by themselves, they're focused on the environment around them. And they're thinking, am I safe? Is my dress right? Is my makeup right? Who's looking at me? What do they think about me? Are they going to follow me? Am I safe? All these different filters are going through their head on the way to the bathroom. It drives them nuts. They can't go to the bathroom in peace in their own mind. So they say, come with me. And the other one goes, of course. And they understand because then they can focus on that relationship and that environmental stuff can shut up for a while. It gives them some calm inside to be with another woman, and they both have this calmness. So what they're saying is, save me from my mind while I go to the bathroom. Because I know men are looking at me, women are looking at me, all the people around me are looking at me, and if I'm by myself, they can say, why am I alone? And can I take advantage of her? Because she feels unsafe when she's not protected. So she has protection and comfort, someone she's relating to. Now, she's in the bathroom. They're talking. I didn't know this. I had to be told this part. They're talking. And they're talking up a storm. Sometimes they cover up sounds, but mostly they're talking about, hey, you know, the relationships out there. And when they get out of the little stall thing and they're out there at the sink, they're going, is my makeup okay? Do I look all right? You know, and they're reaffirming each other that they're okay. It's another thing to say, I'm okay in this crazy world. And it's not something they can say, well, why am I doing that? It's just a part of the relationship that's ingrained. I need to know this. And once they feel okay, they walk out. It's funny. I just thought of this. I should have said this in New Liberty. Women going to the bathroom are not confident. Coming out, they are. Coming out, they are because they've just been affirmed by the woman with them. And they come out with confidence. I always thought it's because they don't have to go to the bathroom. It's not why. A woman has to use the bathroom and it's bad, she's going to say, come with me. Why? I got to go. Okay, let's hurry. No, we're not going to hurry. Women don't hurry either. Even like men running, I don't know. That one I don't figure out because I'm a guy. I'm going to get it there and get it done. But I will say this, it's about the journey. And so this morning, we talk about the differences and how women respond, relate to the world. And it's not wrong. Not wrong at all. Sometimes us guys try to fix stuff that isn't wrong at all. They just want us to be there. Be there when we said and do what we said we'd do and we'd do it. Be consistent through that. And love them through all the stuff that inside them says they're not lovable. And they want an authentic man to say, I'm going to do that regardless. Protect me, she says. Don't fight me. Support me, because I'm having enough trouble battling myself and the world around me. I need someone to let me be just me. I don't have to be beautiful around you, is what a woman would say to an authentic man, because I'm loved just like I am. Guys, we need to be authentic men, because our world needs that. And we're better to start that, but in the church. We're better to start that as Christ gave himself for his wife, that we also can be authentic to protect our wives and love them and nurture them. Care for them. That's hugely important to them. Would you pray with me? Heavenly Father, thank you for your grace, for your mercy, for your understanding, for your peace, for your healing. God, I ask that our relationships become to unity, not division, because our world has seen plenty of division in it, whether it be through gender, skin color, social status, religious beliefs, nationality, or whatever it might be. We've seen division. And Lord, we expect it now. But you said your people can learn to be unified by the Holy Spirit and one in the bond of Christ. And I pray that we would see that our differences are good, necessary, and needed, and they're not wrong. They're what makes us better people when we learn how to relate and understand. Give us a spirit of wisdom and understanding, Lord. I pray this in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Let's all stand and turn to 431.